Okay everyone, welcome back. So in this video I want to talk about finding the greatest common factor of three numbers. So it's very similar to finding the greatest common factor of two numbers. First you need to list out the factors, find the ones they have in common, and see which one is the greatest. Again, when we're looking for factors, one of the best techniques we can use is list out all the ways that you can multiply to get that number. So in this case we're looking first off for the factors of each of these numbers. Now number 12, right? Remember, factors are numbers that can divide that number but without giving you a remainder. And like I said, the best, not the best, but a good way of finding those numbers is to use what you know about multiplication. So 1 and 12 are factors, but because 1 times 12 will give you 12, 2 times 6 will give you 12, and 3 times 4 will give you 12. But again, this is a factor, this is a factor. All these numbers by themselves can divide 12 and you will not get a remainder. Now let's find the factors of 20. So 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5, and that's it. So 20 has 6 factors. There are 6 numbers that can divide 20 without giving you a remainder, and those numbers are 1, 22, 10, 4, and 5. And now we have 28. So for 28 we have 1 and 28, 2 and 14, 3, 4 and 7. 28 has 6 factors as well. There are 6 numbers that can divide 28 without giving you a remainder. Now that we've found all the factors, next up we need to do is find all the ones that they have in common. So which ones do they have in common? So let's write down here common factors. They have to be common to all of them, not just one, all of them. So for example, here the number 1 can be found in each of the numbers. The number 2, right? And also the number 4. It's in all of them. It has to be in all of them in order to be a common factor of all three. Common factors are 1, 2, 4. And which one is the greatest? Well, the greatest of all the common factors, right? That's the last part. Greatest is the number 4. So the GCF, right, greatest common factor of 12, 20, and 28 is 4. That means that 4 is the biggest number that can divide each of those numbers, right? Moving on to the next example, we have, remember, you also might see this as just GCF, like this. GCF of, and then parentheses, 12, 30, and 60. As before, first find out all the factors of the numbers that they're asking you to find the GCF of. So we're going to first off find the factors of 12. Again, best ways to list out all the ways you can multiply to get 12. 30, that'll be 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6, and I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. And for 60, there are a little bit more. So 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. Nice tip to give you as far as how do you know you found all of them. Notice that it goes in order, like 1, 2, 3, and then 4 wraps around. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no 4, but it's a 5, and then 6 wraps around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no 7, there's no 8, no 9. Next one should be a 10. So it kind of wraps around, and you start noticing these things the more you practice. Now let's find the common factors. Remember, common factors have to be in all of them. Common factors would be 1. 1 is usually always a common factor of all the numbers because 1 can divide any number. 2, let's see, 2 is here, 2 is here. 3, 3 is a common factor of all of them. 4, okay, so here's what I was talking about. So 4 is a common factor of 12 and 60, but it's not in the 4, so you can't say 4 is a common factor of all three numbers, only 2 of them. So let's get rid of that. But 6 is a common factor. It's found in all of them. Okay, let's see. So here's 15 and here's 15, but there's no 15 on for the number 12. So 15 is not a common factor of 12, 30, and 60. It's only common factor of 30 and 60. So let's write down the common factors: 1, 2, 3, and 6. And then lastly, we want to find the greatest common factor. The greatest is 6, so the GCF is just 6. All right, so pretty straightforward, just like before. Again, make sure you practice these on your own. We'll try one more. Again, so the GCF, in this case, again, this is GCF of 3 numbers. Okay, so example, GCF of 7, 10, and 12. So let's list out the factors of these 3 numbers to get started. So 7, 1 and 7, 10, 2, well actually we go in order, 1 and 10, 2 and 5. For 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Now here, what are the common factors? The common factors are 1, and that's it. If you look, there's a 2 here and a 2 here, but there's no 2 here. So we can't select 2 as a common factor, so it's just 1. Not only is 1 a common factor, 1 here is actually the greatest common factor. So it's just 1. That means that there is no number that can divide all these 3 except for the number 1, right? That is what the greatest common factor is. Alright, so hope this helps out to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers. It's very similar to finding the greatest common factor of 2 numbers. If that helped you out, please make sure that you subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you next time.